arrived. I'll call the meeting to order for the American County Fire Protection District Board meeting for October 22nd, 2023. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Waiting on you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Board Member Alvarez.
Here.
Board Member Joseph.
Here.
Board Member Oro.
Here.
Vice Chair Washington.
Here.
Chair Garcia.
Here. Thank you. Now we'll move on to report on closed session confirmation of reportable action. Mr. Ross.
Chair and board members, you convened in open session at 5:32, and after about 2 minutes confirmed the method of participation and that there were no public comments on the closed session matters. However, District Council requested that you add additional matters for closed session consideration, an additional matter to closed session agenda item number 1, potential litigation, and as number 3, a matter of existing litigation under Government Code Section 54956.9D1, the matter of Sanchez versus Glenn Weeks et al., Napa County Superior Court case number 21 CV 000455. Your board unanimously added those matters to closed session consideration. Closed session concluded at 6:12. With respect to the modified closed session agenda, I will do a written report under the provisions of Government Code Section 54957.1. That would conclude the report unless there are questions.
Board of Directors, any questions for Mr. Ross?
No, sir.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Ross. We'll move on. Proclamations and presentations. There's none this evening. Public comment on matters not on the agenda. Have we received any public comment?
None at the moment, Chair, but Mr. Justin Hull just entered the meeting.
Justin, are you there?
I had no public comment.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Anybody in the audience wishing to comment? Okay. That being said, there's no public comment for this time. We'll close public comment. Moving on in our agenda. Are there any agenda changes? We have a consent calendar. If there are not any changes requested, I will accept the motion to accept the consent calendar.
So moved. I'll second.
Motion second. Roll call, please.
Board Member Alvarez.
Yes.
Board Member Oro.
Yes.
Board Member Joseph.
Yes.
Vice Chair Washington.
Yes.
And Chair Garcia.
Yes. Thank you, Board. Moving on, public hearings, there are none. Business items, there are none. Fire Chief oral report now.
Thank you, Chair. Excuse me. A couple things. Last week, myself and several of the fire chiefs in the county attended the LAFCO scoping meeting for the upcoming MSR that will be looking at fire and EMS services in the county. Excuse me. As you know, LAFCO typically is required to conduct MSRs for various government functions every 5 years. I believe the last time the LAFCO had conducted an MSR for fire services, I think was about 2006. So we'll see where that goes. I think it's important for LAFCO to conduct this MSR and look in totality at the fire services here in Napa County. They're currently out on the RFP, or the RFP period is open for potential consultants that would conduct the study. Believe that will be closing September with selection of the consultant late September, October. Then they anticipate potentially the MSR being completed late 2024 or early 2025. So it will be a bit of a lengthy process. There's quite a few public members and interested parties that attended the scoping meeting in addition to just the fire service. There was some public members. Napa Firewise was well represented, as well as several of the city managers from the county. So we'll look forward to see where that goes. Obviously, we'll be the fire chiefs are looking to will be fully cooperating with the process, which is expected. But all of us are in agreement that this is a healthy time and healthy process to look at fire and EMS services in Napa County. Also, dovetailing on to EMS, which as many of you know, as well as members of the public know, that EMS is a large portion of what we do here in the fire service, especially in American Canyon. Just over 60% of our calls are EMS related. And part of that is not just being reactionary to when people call 911, but getting out and educating the community, especially when it comes to CPR. CPR, for those that don't know, this is a tactic or a process that is used when someone's heart has stopped beating and they've stopped breathing. So we leveraged the wonderful Meet Me in the Streets event, which I think continues to exceed anyone's expectations with public attendance. I mean, the last one I think it was elbow to elbow walking down the street, so it was good to see. But we had leveraged our booth there and educated over 350 people on how to perform hands-only CPR. Continuing along the vein of CPR, tonight one of our fire engines and crews, as well as American Medical Response, is conducting a hands-only CPR education event and training for parents, coaches, and the athletes at the high school. I think many of us, whether we're an avid football fan or just watched the news, saw the tragic event where one of the NFL players last year suffered a cardiac arrest while on the field, and the quick actions of the training staff performing CPR rather quickly ended up in an extremely positive outcome. So we're taking that to the football team and coaches and parents to also help educate them on how to perform hands-only CPR if they are ever needed to do that while in the course of football game or football practice. So very important. I think it's also important to note when we talk about CPR, the nationwide statistical average for success, and when we say success, someone regains pulses, breathing on their own after CPR, is roughly about 10 to 12%. So it's a relatively low success rate. However, in Napa County, our success rate is between 38 and 42%. And a lot of that is attributed to the education of the public in how to perform hands-only CPR to continue to move the patient, ensure that the patient has proper blood flow and circulation to especially to their brain prior to the fire department's arrival. So again, I thought it was worth highlighting the success rate here in Napa County is substantially higher than it is nationwide. I'm going to switch topics a little bit and just put the reminder out to both the board and the public that is watching that we will be holding our annual 9/11 memorial ceremony on September 11th at the Public Safety Building. It will be at 11 a.m. So we'll have invites going out to the board tomorrow, but just wanted to get it on everyone's radar that we will be conducting that again. this year. And then last topic, always believe in leaving a meeting or discussion on a good note. Just recently, we were notified, you may recall, let me back up a little bit. You may recall that last board meeting, I gave a report in our chief's report on the amount of grants and different grants that we're currently pursuing for the benefit of the fire district. I'm happy to report that we were just notified by the Office of Traffic Safety that the American Canyon Fire Protection District has received a tentative approval of $100,000 for new extrication equipment for our fire engines. So extrication equipment is commonly known as the jaws of life. So this grant will allow us to buy one full set of new extrication equipment or jaws of life for our 2 fire engines that we staff every day. So pretty excited about that. Our current equipment is very functional, but it's getting outdated, and this will allow us to have the most up-to-date, technologically advanced equipment for those times when we need to cut someone out of a car from a horrific traffic accident. So more to follow on that, but I thought that was a really good topic to end tonight's Chiefs report with. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that the board
Good
may
news,
have.
good news indeed. Thank you, Chief. No, good to hear. Any questions or comments from board supervisor?
One quick question. You said you only have one Jaws of Life, right, currently?
No, we currently have Jaws of Life. Jaws of Life is a common term. It's actually a trade name for a specific brand. We don't have that brand. We have Hamatro right now. But no, we have multiple sets. So this will ensure that each engine that we staff, the 2 engines, have one complete set each that is
Gotcha.
brand new.
Thank you.
All right. Very good. Thank you. Anything further from the board? Board member comments, committee reports, future agenda items? Seeing none, hearing none? Well, thank you very much, everybody. We have concluded our business for the evening. We are adjourned.
Good night, American Canyon.
Good night.